Scorpio rising. How you doing, Scorpio? This is your reading for Neptune moving into Aries, but it's only taking us up to the 4th of July when Neptune will retrograde and then head back into Pisces again. So we're just covering these couple of months of what the intention of Neptune's up to for you, my loves. Itala di Shelimodo Fala di Anima. Hello and welcome. My name's Chloe. I work with card divination, astrology, and I channel multi-dimensional energies through my body. You just heard some vocal light language. You're seeing some physical light language. All of this brings in healing, attunement, and activation codes to the messages that are going to come through for you today, my loves. Itala di Shelimodo Fala di Anima. So, I read for the rising signs. So, for those of you who do not have Scorpio in the first house, look to the house it does fall in your natal chart. Look to the themes of that house, and you want to apply those themes along with all the other meaning you've got going on in the sign of Scorpio to the messages that come through, because it will be as if that Scorpio energy, wherever it falls in your natal chart, has now energetically moved to the first house. So when I talk about the astrology for the rising sign, it will always still link in. You've just got to add on your own natal chart meaning on top of it. For example, I've got Scorpio in the 4th house, so I'll apply the themes of the 4th, and I've got Pluto, Vesta, South Node, and Saturn all hang out there. So I'd apply all of that to what comes through in this reading. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. So we're going to be getting 5 cards from this tarot deck, as well as the card at the bottom of the deck. And the first card is going to be what support, what activation is coming through from Pisces, where Neptune's been for a very, very long time, that's going to facilitate this little journey into the sign of Aries, right? So what support are we getting from the sign of Pisces via Neptune? We're also going to get the most integrated and expansive intention of what Neptune's up to, and that way you can apply it to all the little nuances and individual experiences that you have. And like zoom out and get, oh, this is what's behind all of that. We'll get a card on how to work with that energy, how to amplify it, as well as, right, Neptune can be very much about delusion, and obviously everything is an illusion, right? Nothing's real, but we're going to pull a card on what delusion, what illusion of reality that you think is very real that is not, that Neptune's going to be helping dissolve. So we're going to get a card to let us know, okay, what is the thing that's showing up in our lives that is in fact not real, even though it may seem and act like a very real thing. And we're also going to get a card on how to navigate that and work through that. As I said, we'll also get the card at the bottom of the deck, as well as I am using 2 oracle decks, one of which I have never used before on this channel. It's brand new. Well, they're both brand new. I'm going to talk about that deck and where I found it when we pull those cards. And then also the other deck I bought especially for all this Aries energy, because it's called the Hero's Journey, and it's the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. And obviously Neptune can be very much linked into the dream space. So my lovely Scorpio risings, oh, by the way, usually I do a collective reading, and that's always the first reading that I do, right, where I break down the astrology of the exact moment of any transit, tap into that energy, see what that's all about, how to work with it. Lots of channeled messages usually come through, pull collective tarot, all of that stuff. I haven't done it first, which is quite funny, because Aries is the initiator and Neptune's like, hey, let's do something different. So after I finish the all 12 signs, I'm going to do the collective reading. I'm going to bring everything together, and that's just going to add on a deeper resonance of what frequency are we working with collectively over the next couple of months with that. I'm also going to pull in some bigger themes around Neptune and Neptune being in Aries. As well as I'm going to do the oracle reading. That will be the last reading that I do, and these cards I pull before doing any transit, and the energies coming through in all 12 signs. So Scorpio, where is this happening for you? This big shift, 14 years. Well, it's in your 6th house of the adult in the room. Work, how you work, how you figure things out and put them into practice. It is work itself, physical routines, physical health, routines, co-workers and therefore collaboration, pets and therefore acts of service. As I said, this is the adult in the room. I happen to have Neptune natally at 0 degrees of Capricorn in my 6th house. So I'm going to give some examples of me just because it's easier. I'm quite feral in my nature in some ways. Like when I was a kid, I didn't brush my hair for a year because I was just so over the fact that I had to do it every day. I also didn't brush my teeth. God bless my mother for having to deal with that. There's this sense of the dissolving of all of those things. If it's not the sort of the mundane stuff, and obviously it's I'm an earth energy in that regard. So it's more manifesting in sort of the physical realms. But it is that sense of letting go of restrictions and limitations and expectations, right? It's, Neptune is the ocean, right, energy. It is the great unfolding and the dissolving of it all. And nothing really matters, but everything matters at the same time. So there's this element of letting go of the tightness of the reins. And obviously the things that I do in terms of my work come from a very deep spiritual energy. Even, the reason why I ended my old career is because I felt like it was shallow. I felt like I was putting plasters on these gaping wounds, right? And it broke my soul, right? So there's an element around Neptune moving into the 6th where it has to kind of be in alignment with your spiritual understanding, right? In order to get that motivation up and going. Routines may just not feel as, solid, as strict. And that's a beautiful thing because it allows so much freedom and so much, I'm quite messy sometimes. God, this is really revealing a fair amount of me. That I'm not someone who's going to wash a piece of clothing immediately if it's got a stain on it, right? And so there's something around like really allowing yourself to let go of the constructs of being the adult in the room. Because Neptune really is the gateway to source. It's all the dimensions, all the frequencies. Uscinima di animo tuela, dice le modo fala di anima, I shattiani moto where do you want to go? Itala di ali moela dice nima, okay, itale moto era. It is the gateway to source, the unconditional love, all the possibilities. It's yin in nature because it's linked into the ocean in terms of mythology, but it's in a yang sign. So it is both dissolving and activating at the same time. Dissolving limiting beliefs around the I am of self and what motivates and drives you to stand up and be the adult in the room. You're going to find that it's going to be more, and when I say spiritually inclined, I just mean a deeper resonance of interconnectedness and meaning. You might find yourself getting some really sort of far out ideas around health, around how to work and how to collaborate, more unconditional love in working with others. And it's, the adult in the room, we can struggle with that because of certain love languages and expectations from parental figures of how they were. And so this is helping release a lot of that. Release a lot of the blocks around the I am. Right, based on conditioning. Neptune's really helping dissolve that and allowing more space for you to unfold through your instincts and connect to spirit in a very instinctive way that is creating a way of working, right? A way of strengthening yourself. from more of the unseen realms, right? More of the unexpected. It's the less rational energy. It's the less denser frequency. It is opening up spaces for you to instinctively be in attunement with source, be in attunement with what is the truth of being the adult in the room for you, that it works for your soul's path, right? It is the great mystic, but it's also the martyr. My brain just did like not a kaleidoscope, a Rolodex. God, that's old school. A Rolodex of all the times where I've been in martyr mode over my reaction to other people and the way that they work, and it not being from a place of integrity. Admittedly, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. Saturn's an integral energy. So this, for the Mars energy, this is more of the passion, the drive, the get up and go, and the frustration around not seeing that out in the world. I just bear that in mind, right? And really keep that in mind of let everyone do what they're doing. This is about you reorientating back to yourself and your I am, and what instinct and what passion drives you. Let's clear out the clutter of how other people work and how other people do things. But as I said, it's the great mystic. It is the dream state. It's going to be, I just feel like you're going to be getting so much inspiration and downloads around elevating work and the way that we work and the way that we commit to things and work with other people. I think the 6th house is incredibly important for healthy relationships, right? Because if you don't understand how you work, how you're supposed to work with other people, and Neptune is the great connector, it's the higher octane of Venus, it is that unconditional love of really allowing more space for co-creation where you can work together in a way that is has a deeper resonance and a deeper meaning. You want to look to where your Neptune is in your chart, because that's going to add on a layer of what's going on with Neptune over in your 6th, as well as your Mars, right? And so Mars is always going to be influencing from your natal chart both your sign Scorpio and Aries. So you're deeply interconnected with Aries because of that Mars energy. So that wherever Mars is in your natal chart is going to give you a clue about what Neptune's up to in the 6th, of like where your focus is in understanding at a deeper level how you work and what's important to you. It's working with both the unseen and the physical realms. I can see a lot more of your support team coming in. Your guides, your being able to connect to them at a higher level. Knowing, and because that's the co-workers, right? So it's the collaborating with your soul team in order for your instincts, as I said, just to be realigned with source and have the more energy and more vibrancy by creating more space for that, right? Say you're not quite sure who your guides are. I mean, I've always been told more about my guides by other people than I have about that I get downloads myself. But I know they're there. And just creating space, just maybe every morning say, hey, I welcome in my support team, I welcome in co-creation today and stepping up to things. But having Neptune in the 6th can bring about really great inspirational ideas around health, around how people work and how you want to work, as well as I said, dissolving limiting beliefs around all of that 6th house of being the adult in the room, right? Sometimes we can be the child still in ways that do us a disservice, and having Neptune in the 6th is allowing you to be the adult in the room from yourself with the unconditional love from source. It's very caretaker energy. It's very supportive energy in any healing work you're going to be doing. I can really see, if you do, I mean, we're all healers. Every bit of work that anybody does has the capacity to heal. So there's going to be adding a level of deep healing in the way that you work, right, in your practice, whether it's your frequency just vibrating at that level when you're working, or the things that you do, the work that you do now embodying a deeper sort of healing energy, because it's about health. The 6th house. Oh, this last card's been very specific. So Mars was up in the sign of Cancer. So Mars is ruling Aries, and that's imprinted in up until the 4th of July. Okay, you got a bonus card that wanted to go with the card at the bottom of the deck, right? That Mars is in your 9th house of perspective. So this is the next couple of months is a real reorientation to the truth of your soul's perspective and the drive and the motivation that's guiding you. And in this process, as I said, Neptune can bring up the old paradigm in quite a strong way because it's letting us know, oh, that's not real anymore. So Mars is influencing Neptune of like, right, let's get work and perspective in alignment here. Let's connect the dots between the emotional body and the instinctive body that is allowing for, I just feel like a building of power, right? A building of drive and instinct that is very intuitively dreamlike guided, synchronistically guided. And so there's a real sense of letting go of control and honoring. And it takes practice. These are things that I've been doing. I only ever talk about things that I've put into practice that I've seen work, of surrender, right? Neptune's inherently yin, it's the ocean. Uranus is the sky god, so it's inherently yang, but it's in a yang sign. The phrase I've been using is magma, right? Volcanic magma, right? That is liquid, but it's fire, right? That's gonna burn. So Neptune is dissolving a lot of restrictions around your soul spark of spirit to come through with vibrancy, with life force. And what I feel over the next couple of months is a building of that life force by releasing any blocks around conflict and frustration and burnout that 6th house can bring, especially with the Aries energy of just softening that and allowing and not being in conflict in the same way. And it's yang, so it's like it can lead to burnout having yang signs in the 6th. That Neptune genuinely is, yeah, just soothing that. It just feels like a balm. Right, let's get into your stuff. So this is what Neptune is bringing from Pisces, which is your 5th house of your creation energy, your house of joy, play, amusement, games. Now, obviously, Neptune is retrograding back into Pisces. It will come back into Aries next year. It will be the 3rd of 4 planets that are retrograding in Aries and Pisces. So we've got this. This is 2 fire and water, very prominent elements this year. Aries and Pisces main focus, and also that South Node in Virgo, right? So we've got a real focal point here for you, Scorpio, around work and joy, right? Creation energy and pleasure, and the adult in the room, right? The inner child's over in the 5th house. So you're doing a huge shift around how you connect from a place of love, pleasure, and creativity to being the adult in the room, right? It's honestly, I'm very jealous of you, Scorpio, because this combination with those 4 planets, with the North Node in Pisces, South Node in Virgo, being an absolute boss, I'm here for it. Okay, so what's come over from Pisces that's facilitating the Neptune transit in Aries up until the 4th of July. The 7 of Swords. I love the 7 of Swords. Okay, so I read this very differently to a lot of tarot readers because this figure is stealing away the 5 of Swords, which for me is the most difficult card in the deck. The 5 of Swords. It's about domination and subjugation, the bully in the room and victim mentality, and how they are so intertwined, right? The pain around scarcity, fear, conflict, needing to win, competition, all of that stuff. It makes my heart ache when I think about the 5 of Swords and how so many of us, including myself, still trapped in that cycle that there has to be conflict, for there to be creation. And there is an element of truth to it, but I think we're re-navigating into a different frequency of how we operate with it. So the 7 of Swords is stealing away that 5 of Swords. It's like, no, I'm taking this away. This is not worth it anymore, right? In order to stop the battle that's about to happen. This card is the color of the sun, right? So it's really saying that you've been doing a lot of work around letting go of conflicts and pain and grief and frustration around your creation energy, around your pleasure, around your joy, right? And you're coming into a state of inner balance and inner peace, and they're wanting you to hold on to this, right? Hold on to this. Okay, how do I, when I feel conflict is coming up, let's reorientate, let's re-navigate back to inner peace, back to inner balance. And this is the moon in Libra, 2 swords. The 2 of swords is the moon in Libra, not the 7 of swords. This is an Aquarius card. It's the moon in Aquarius, which I happen to have, which is all about the zoom out perspective, right? So and the Libra for you is in your 12th house, or your hidden house, your house of mysteries, obviously opposite Aries. So they're wanting you to stay in a place of equilibrium and come back to that state of balance whenever you're feeling conflict is coming up, right? Because they're wanting you to carry on the work that you've been doing around reorientating how you perceive reality, right? And because that's going to facilitate, one, the joy that's building in the 5th, as well as a different way of looking at being the adult in the room, right? And so it is soothing. It's taking away a lot of the drama and the conflict of it all. And they're wanting you to focus on that and not focusing on the conflict itself, on the drama itself, but how do I come back to my inner equilibrium, not what's going on externally. Or my third eye's throbbing as I say this. Right, so this is the most expansive intention of what Neptune is up for you into the 4th of July. Itala. Oh, hi. You would have thought this would have been that card, right? Itala, but no. 2 of Cups. I love this card. Even though this is Venus in Cancer, I always link this into Lilith, because these 2 figures are eye to eye. They are equal. There's a level of respect, honor, and dignity here. They're both open to give and to receive, right? There's a real sense of reciprocity and engagement, right? And the intention and the emotional desire to do so. We've also got the caduceus. You see those 2 snakes, which is an image of deep healing. Right? It's linked in, it's like doctors and pharmacies have it. It's also the Kundalini energy. And we've got spirit, we've got that lion there. So Neptune, up until the 4th of July, is activating a deep level of inner union with yourself, right? We've got the masculine, feminine, and spirit. We all have those energies within us. It's never sex specific. There are 6 yin signs, 6 yang signs, and everybody's got them. It's unavoidable. Sorry, guys. We are all fluid. And so Neptune is wanting you to come into balance, in a state of union, a state of love, and a state of respect for yourself, for your vessel, for the way that you work, through how you work with other people, to respect. It just feels like an overwhelming sense of love and a capacity and strength, right? With that respect, that is bringing in a deepening of being the adult in the room, right? This is also about how you work with yourself and with other people from a place of openness and a place of reciprocity and a place of love. You know, I said earlier, for me, the 6th house is the gateway to healthy relationships. The more you understand you and how you work, you're able to communicate that with other people in a really open and honest way. Then they know where they stand, and they know what and they know how to interact, and they can do the same for you. So there's a real openness coming in, right? Whether that be in working relationships or romantic relationships, or simply the relationship with yourself from a deep loving place. You know, I was talking about burnout before. I was talking about sort of the conflict of the Aries energy, and this is really opening you up to a space of union, whether, you know, as I said, whether it's within yourself or externally. I mean, usually it starts within and ends up being outside. Very healing. This feels deeply healing of the unification of the vessel, right? And through that sense of not being in conflict, being open to give and receive, that's bringing the energy flow in your body to such a powerful healing space. Being open and falling in love with your work again. Being in union with work from a deep place of love and a deep place of respect. I mean, come on, Scorpio. Right. How to work with this energy, what the universe wants you to sort of embody to help facilitate that Two of Cups. Ace of Wands. Instinct, passion, drive, fresh new energy. There's been lots of aces show up, not surprising. This is all about fresh new energy, not the old patterns, not the old ways of doing things. They are saying focus on the new life, the new growth that is coming within you, from within, right? That spark of spirit within, that sense of drive, passion, motivation, inspiration, very autonomous, very independent, very sovereign, the fire, very transformative, very fertile, very virile, right? It's very much got the shape of something that, is virile. But we've got all these leaves coming off. So it is saying new growth, right? The universe is saying focus on what gives you life, what gives you instinct. So I've been very lucky to be in a situation where I can follow where my life force is leading me. Right. And it's taken me a while to really work with that energy because I've got a Virgo sun. It's all about the to-do list. It's all about what would be the best time to do this in order to do this, in order to do this, chain of events kind of stuff. And for the last couple of years, I've been allowing myself the grace to follow what my body, what my instincts, like fire is instinct. You're not even thinking about it. It's just happening, right? So where is that life force taking you? I want you to try as much as you can, right? Obviously, in certain working environments, we don't have the space to do that. We've got some boss saying, oh, we need to do this by this, by this, by this. And it really restricts energy flow. And one day we're going to get to a point where, and my mum was saying the other day about, shout out to my mum, absolute legend, found out the other day that we've lived many lifetimes together, which is not surprising, like thousands. She was, we were talking about anarchy, and she defined it as the ultimate trust of self in all people, i.e. self-governing, right? Self-ruling. And it really kind of blew me away because I think I'd heard that before in the past, but not recently, of like, that is the I am principle. That is the honoring of the divine within all of us, right? And the I am of everyone's experience, and having a huge amount of trust in what's going on and not trying to control anything. And that is, in a nutshell, what Neptune is helping us create our own reality by honoring that, right? I've been saying this phrase, because you can have the sort of judgments of like, oh, why is someone doing that? And then I'll go, oh, I honor the path of the I am of them. Peace be with them, choose your own adventure kind of stuff. Like just it helps get out of that conflict energy when you're riling and fighting against the machine. Then when you stop fighting against the machine, honestly, the machine starts doing what you want. But so if and when you've got the time, scrap all the to-do lists. Scrap any, oh, I should do this. Oh, it's a nice day, I should be out in the garden. Scrap it all. Bin it, burn it. Maybe do a little minute meditation and then see where the inspiration comes from and follow that. Because this is beautiful. Two of Cups with the Ace of Wands. I said about that water and fire energy, right, of your emotional body being in a state of union, and your passions and your drives, that those emotions now in balance, fueling this instinct. Right, okay, so this is what is the illusion that Neptune is helping us understand in order to release. We got the King of Swords. Speak about control. Speak about certainty. Speak about I know what I know, and F everybody else. So I'm probably going to swear in this video. I've been swearing in all of them. It happens with both Scorpio and Aries. You are ruled by Mars. It's just a fact. King of Swords. Oh, so serious. Oh, so cool, calm, collected. Oh, so I know what I know. And that is the truth, right? Okay, so this is the illusion Neptune's shattering for you. You don't have to be in control. You don't have to know anything or everything, but you don't have to know anything. And that's kind of doubling down on that sort of instinctive flow state that I was talking about, of not having that to-do list, right? And then having to act on it. I don't feel like I really need to say anything more than that. Yeah, get out of your head, get out of what you think. Get into your body, get into your instincts. Okay, I've got nothing more coming through from that one. Okay, how to work with it. Woo! 9 of Pentacles. Hi, Venus and Virgo. Oh, what a boss. So, get out of control. Get out of perspectives that are based on the past. Right? Limiting beliefs with this one. The detachment in a way like too mature. Too much Siano in the room. As I said, Neptune for me in my 6th, it does mean I'm a bit feral. It does mean I'm not that King of Swords, that's for sure. So this card is all about, okay, the good life, right? And how to facilitate it. You know, this figure's hanging out in their garden, but they have done the work to do that, to get this abundance. Happy home, happy work, happy friends, happy family. But they've made the right decisions. And this is the opposite of burnout, right? This is a real balance, a real holistic understanding of what work is and how to take care of yourself and be kind to yourself and be that, like, you just think of like the absolute legends of parental figures, right? Who are supportive and loving, but allowing you to be free, who want you to have play and joy in your life, and not kind of like hardcore work ethic where you're the slave to the system, where you're grinding yourself down to the bone, right? This is the opposite of that. This is really saying, no, this doesn't serve us. I understand that a lot of people are in certain situations where they kind of got to do that. But it's also a denser frequency. And it is one that if you have the capacity to take space away from that and step into a meditative place and embody the frequency of the 9 of Pentacles, even if you're not feeling like your life is that, I would really recommend it, because that frequency will integrate into your vessel and then your world will start changing. Neptune very much has the capacity to do that. I've always been very blessed with work in terms of getting what I need when I need it. It's not necessarily the things that I think I want, but it's that sense of Neptune's working in mysterious ways, and all of this is like, open up to that. You don't have to have all the ideas. You know, one way of bringing this energy into your life is, say you work all the time. Give yourself 5 minutes a day to go into a bit of nature if you can, or whatever it is that like soothes your nervous system and calms you down, slows you down, and really appreciate the joy of existing. Just create more space for that on a daily basis. Right, so you got a bonus card that went with a card at the bottom of the deck. This is the bonus card, and this is the card at the bottom of the deck, and this is the root energy of the intention. And we got that 3 of Pentacles. Woo! And the bonus card. Oh, hi, the Chariot. Hi, Cancer. Hi, Mars in Cancer. Love this. So the 3 of Pentacles, this is about mastery of self, right? Go do your own thing. Go live your own life. Work in the way that you work and trust in it. Trust in it. Right? And it draws towards you others, whether it's other facets of you that have different skills and talents, or other people, to work together. Hello, House of Collaboration, in order to build something beautiful and long lasting. But this energy, this figure here, I usually talk about Michelangelo. of how Michelangelo was like, right, I'm going to go and carve marble. I'm not going to become a doctor or a lawyer or, you know, any of those traditional expectations of professions that it's all about survival. Like our parental figures just want us to be safe and secure. This figure's like, thanks for your advice, but no, I'm going to go do my own thing, right? And because it was so, there was such a level of drive, of spirit, itala, of life, itala, disceli modoela di anima, not doubt, not fear, just enjoying the process of work itself, the joy. He used to have like a block of marble and he had no idea what would be in it, right? He didn't have the set intention, didn't have the plan of what that thing's going to look like. And this can really tie into the retrogrades as well, moving back into your 5th house of creation energy. And it was more, Michelangelo was like, the marble has its own story to tell. I'm just facilitating it, right? So it wasn't about control. It was about following the moment, the now, the I am in any given moment, trusting in that. And then we've got the Chariot. This is a card of victory. This is kind of acknowledging all the journeys that you've been on. And now is the time to let go of control. Again, there are no reins here. There's balance, and it's the Cancer card, so it's your perspective. So it's really getting you to focus long and hard about what are your true perspectives, what is your deep understanding of your own incarnation that brings your emotional fulfillment, you joy, your passion, your drive, your clarity, your felt sense of just the joy of existing and what moves you. So yeah, very powerful reading, Scorpio. Oh, we got a bonus card. There is a... Oh, look who was on the floor. We're going to bring the King of Cups in. Don't know when that happened. Discele molto e la di anima. I mean, that's kind of doubling down. Oh, wait, where's that? Doubling down. Dishana. Is that the one? Okay. On the... letting go of control and allowing the flow of your emotional body. And again, we've got the Chariot, we've got the King of Cups, you know, we've got big Cancer energy as well as Scorpio energy of really tending to your flow, tending to your imagination, your creativity, itala di anima, and not what you think you should be doing, not what you think should be the right thing to do right now. Itala di modo di anima. So we're using 2 decks. I'm just shuffling the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle, which I bought especially. Oh, no, that's too many. Especially for all this Aries energy. Itala di anima. Dufala. 4 retrogrades, guys, in the sign of Aries. Itufala di anima, di anima. Di shinima. Oh, I think I've already said this, but I'm going to say it again. Look to where your Neptune is. Yes, no, I have said it. I don't remember. And your Mars. Itala di shelimodoela. Because that's always going to be influencing what's going on for this 14-year transit. Itala di shelimodofala di anima. Dufala di anima. Ianima. Dishana. Du itinima. So, first deck. This is the Astro Ascension deck. And this comes from a tarot reader who came up on my newsfeed a couple of months ago after I was getting a little... I go through phases with tarot readers. Sometimes I connect to them, sometimes I don't. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. And I just wasn't resonating with any of my tarot readers, my usual tarot readers. And she popped up, and I've linked her in the description box. It's the Nordic Light, and she's got her own deck. She's got 2, and I bought this one before the Aries eclipse. I've also linked her website because I think it's a really great deck. I think she's phenomenal, and I really want to pay it forwards because I've gained so much from watching her. So we've got Taurus show up. I have stay true to your values, steadfast, loyal, sensitive, understanding, calm, patient, sensual, generous, practical, tenacious, stubborn, materialistic, lazy, the Hierophant. Now, I like this in regards to what's come up here with the King of Swords and that 7 of Swords, which is kind of letting me know that you've got some values that you think are yours that are not yours. Itala di shalamadoela di anima o shalema di anima o tuela because everything around this is trying to reorientate you to this. The is that are within you already, right? And I think that's the key part. that they've always been there. This isn't something new. This isn't something to be like, oh, I don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I don't know who I am, what's going on. That's okay. It's Neptune. That's part of the vibe. But they're really wanting to let you know that what you're looking for, what your soul is searching for, is already within you. So you can let go of the need to worry, the need to plan, the need to control, to have the bright idea, right? Because they're really wanting you to get into your emotional and physical vessel, so your instincts are free from the mind. So in the book it says, you've been true to your values with the utmost integrity. This is paying off, bringing you a stable life with a solid foundation. Love and abundance is yours. So that's doubling down on this. And even though it says you've been doing it, I think you have, to a greater degree, but these two cards are kind of signifying that maybe there's a part of you that doesn't think that you have, and that you're going to be doing that work as well moving over the next couple of months. And in the more unintegrated energy, are you stuck in a self-made prison, blindly holding on to something that is not aligned with your inner truth or higher path? Being stubborn is not helping you, right? And that's an Aquarius card, which is fixed energy, along with Taurus, which can be very stubborn. I say that as someone who has predominantly mostly fixed energy. Oh, this is a lovely card. And it's a number 6. So this is from the Hero's Dream Journey. There is no place like home. Nestle into the sweetness. A man travels the world over in search of what he needs and returns home to find it. George A. Moore. This feels like Neptune is bringing you back to your spiritual origins of how you understand how you are the adult in the room in this incarnation. Is bringing you back to your inner home, right? Your inner peace, your inner sovereignty, your inner I am, right? That it's not external. You're not having to plan and worry of the next steps. It's all cultivating within you. Snuggle into the peace, calm, and simplicity of the present moment. So many miraculous moments happen throughout each day that are worthy of drop to your knees, or I concur with that one. Sunset, sunrise, the sounds of your loved one's breath as they sleep, a hot shower in the morning. This is so summing up these two cards and what came through in those. A cool glass of water, the ability to hug the ones you love. The list of the miracles goes on and on. On your hero's journey, you will travel far from home, if only in your mind, but you will never forget your roots and your gratitude for all which nurtures, feeds, and grounds you. Interestingly, that King of Swords, Aquarius, is your 4th house of home and roots. It's like there's a limiting belief that's blocked you from feeling that peace in this incarnation, and then for understanding of the your incarnation and being present in it, that Neptune's helping reorientate you back to the truth of those foundations, of that what home feels like, that isn't in this fixed rigid box of expectation. You will never forget your roots and your gratitude for all which nurtures, feeds, and grounds you. Dream symbol, home. Home is symbolic of the place we strive to return to. It is often the place where the elixir has been hiding in plain sight the entire time. Dreams of the home you live in now, or of your childhood home, can represent your sense of grounding, identity, and belonging. The physical structure and upkeep of the house can reflect your physical well-being. The shape, size, and decor of a house, as well as the activity within it, all reflect how you see yourself or how you would most like to see yourself. Mantra. I allow my senses to indulge in the nectar of gratitude for my home, sweet home. And that really ties in with these This is just beautiful. And I love all of that filling into the way that you work, that it's something that is very much a part of you that's being activated. This sweetness, this love, this abundance, this spirit, this vital spirit within you. That, you know, that King of Swords as the illusion. I feel like that King of Swords has definitely been blocking other perspectives come in, because this has served you, right? Up until now. Lol. Oh, we got, you will laugh. You will laugh at you got a bonus card from the Astro Ascension deck. You got Aries. I am the Emperor. Taking charge, courageous, bold, brave, inspirational, passionate, self-aware, confident, extrovert, impatient, impulsive, arrogant. You have what it takes to reach your success. Dare to be bold and keep up the good work. Your manifestations will come true. And in the more unintegrated polarity, you're too focused on the wrong things. Yeah, the sort of I see clearly and I judge all, right, kind of energy. Let that go. Let it go. Either giving your power away or not taking any action at all. Is there too much ego, conflict, tension, or competition in your life? Yeah, just chill. Chill. Honestly, chill and see where your instincts take you. Meditate of the union of the masculine and feminine spirit within yourself every morning. Relax, surrender, chill in the body, and then go. Well, let's have a quick look at the bottom of the deck. Gemini, I think the lovers, finding solutions. Intelligent, curious, innovative, playful, insightful, quick-witted, social, outgoing, superficial, gossip, inconsistent. Right? So it's wanting you to think in different ways, be curious and open yourself up to new understandings and as I kept saying, you're going to get some really bright ideas around work, how you work, how people work together, physical health, all of those things. Divine drunkenness, surrender to your spiritual reverie, right. So the great mystic, the drunken mystic, letting go of control, letting go of the expectations of what an adult in the room should be. And allow yourself to, you know, really embody a space of love and abundance. Rather than I've got to do all the work in order to get that, right? It kind of breaks down those walls. Well, my loves, Scorpio, I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it resonated. Oh, I think this might be the longest one yet. If you did, hit that like button, leave me a comment. It brings me so much joy, it really does. If you want a deeper dive into this Neptune transit, the eclipse, Mars' retrograde cycle, Venus, Mercury, all the things, or non-astrology and just want to do some channeling, my website is everywhere. If you want to pay by PayPal, email me directly. But other than that, my lovely Scorpios, be good to yourselves, be good to those around you, safe travels, and be well until we meet again.